So insulin has a job to do. It's a normal hormone. It's not a bad, there's nothing bad about insulin intrinsically, but any hormone is good in the right amount, and too much, too little is bad. So insulin, its job is to tell you to store calories, right? So calories are just a unit of food energy. You eat, you have calories. Well, the insulin is what tells you that it needs to be stored. Okay, and we've known this for 50 years. When you eat, insulin goes up, and insulin does a number of things. It increases sort of glycogen, glycogen production. So you take glucose, you string it into long strings called glycogen, you store it in your liver. So it's a way to store glucose or sugar. If you have enough glycogen, then what your body's going to do is you're going to take this glucose and you're going to turn it into fat, and that's called de novo lipogenesis. If you eat dietary fat, it actually goes directly into your fat stores, but what insulin does is it blocks you from burning that fat, right? Because your body, when you have insulin, you want to store calories. That's a good thing, because when you eat, you need to store some of it away for, that's the reason you don't die in your sleep every single night. It's because you're able to store some of that food energy away. And when you don't eat, such as when you're sleeping, then your insulin is going to fall and you're going to start to pull some of that food energy back out. So either the sugar or the body fat. So even though insulin by itself doesn't necessarily cause body fat, it sort of indirectly does, because it blocks you from burning fat, because you're trying to store energy, not use it. So that's its job. It's doing what it's supposed to do, but different foods stimulate insulin to a different degree. So when we changed our diet in 1977, where we said eat lots of carbs, right? So the food pyramid, the original food pyramid, which was full of bread on the base, right? 7 to 11 servings of bread and rice and potatoes, that's what you should be eating. Well, what happened is that we started eating a diet that was very high, that was very stimulating to glucose. We know that. So you eat bread, your blood glucose goes up. You can measure it in the glycemic index. So blood glucose goes up, blood insulin goes up. When blood insulin goes up, all of your energy is being shuttled into storage. And that's the big problem. If you're shuttling all of your energy into storage, so say you eat white bread and jam in the morning, and you store it all away, and there's no energy coming back out because your insulin's high, you're blocking the use of any of your stored energy. You're pushing it all into storage. Well, there's nothing left. So then you get hungry at like 10:30. You had your bread and, your white bread and jam in the morning. By 10:30, you're looking around for a low-fat muffin because there's no energy left. You put it all into storage, right? And the same thing happens. Insulin spikes way up. You take all those energy, the calories that you had from your low-fat muffin, you store it all into storage, and then you're hungry. Lunchtime comes around, you eat a big plate of pasta, store it all away. And the problem is now you're eating all the time. You're eating 5-6 times a day. And that's sort of people that said, well, we're eating low fat and therefore eating 6 times a day. So therefore eating 6 times a day must be good, right? The premise, which is eating a low, very high carb diet was good. That was the incorrect premise, but led to us eating 6-7 times a day, and then telling our kids and everybody who would listen that you should eat small meals constantly throughout the day.